Hello, hello.
Howdy,
If we
howdy,
just
everybody.
howdy, yeah. Hey, JC. Good weekend. I hope you had a good
It
one.
was a good weekend. Kind of tired, getting used to the new school schedule and all of that, but it was good. How was yours?
Mine was pretty good. We had the mayhem party last night, and
I know, I missed
it was
it.
it was very good. We did OnlyFans for a while. I mean, not to take away from but I'm exhausted. I slept for a long time today for a change,
Yeah,
which was good. But
that is good. Maybe
it
that's what
was
you need to
crazy.
do is just talk about nakedness for a couple hours every night and then you'll sleep well.
Isn't that what we do anyway?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Isn't that what I do all the time anyway? No,
Mm.
but it was great. It was really good conversation about I just love that stuff. I love talking about a topic like we're going to do tonight, like on an issue, a focused episode
Yes. Yep.
of Black Mirror. If there's anything going on with the sound, someone let me know, but it sounds really good. You sound okay. You hear me good? I'm hoping the
Yes.
chat. I'm hoping everyone in the stream on the chat feels this really good. And otherwise, I'll see if I got any message. Nope. I think it's
Hey,
great
always
to go.
grateful.
Oh, thank you for being here. You know, when it comes to Black Mirror, you're the first person we think of there. So we can't wait to talk to you about this one.
I think
This
is always grateful the one that suggested Hated in the Nation.
they may have, I'm sorry, they may have, because I'm unsure. I always do that wrong. But someone did. And I'm glad they did because I had watched every single episode, but I had forgotten about this one.
Right.
And this one kept me on my seats a little bit. It was very, I don't want to like quote the critics or whatever, but the word is fit. It was very Hitchcockian. If you like Alfred Hitchcock or you like all that,
Yes.
twisty turny, you like Kuntz, you like a little Stephen King here and there. It was good. It had, it kept me interested in a
It was
mild
very
way.
interesting. And Always
Mhm.
Grateful did say yes. It was their favorite episode.
Oh, good. Because it's ranking up there with mine. It is highly rated. I think it deserves more because it wasn't in your face, right, JC? What do you?
I
Yeah.
wonder if it was, yeah, you're right. It was not so like in your face. It wasn't one of those super disturbing ones after. I mean,
Well,
it was scary in some of it and somewhat gruesome at parts, but I don't know. It didn't leave me like feeling just super disturbed all day like the other
mhm,
ones, but
yeah.
I wonder if it became more popular in 2020.
I think it did. I was looking at the ratings and actually read a little clip about that it actually was one of the most reviewed episodes over the last 12 months. So
Yeah.
always says that the creator, Charlie Brooker, who wrote this one almost exclusively, actually based this on an experience in his life, which I got to check that out. I would like to know what that was because.
I just read that earlier today.
Mhm.
I believe if I'm understanding correctly, he wrote articles. Oh man, I feel like I had it pulled it up earlier and don't know where
Mhm.
I put it. But basically, it was based on an article that he wrote
Mhm.
on I can't even remember who was running against him, the American election, George W. Bush, and
Mhm.
don't even remember who the
Yeah.
person running against. But he said some perhaps unkind things about Bush. They
Mhm.
were a little bit more graphic in nature, I think, hinting around
Mhm.
that maybe they could have a demise like Lincoln. I almost said
Oh.
Abraham
Oh my
Blinken,
God. Oh,
if anybody
you
knows
could
that
say
movie.
that word. Don't you could say it because I'm going to say it when it comes to the bees. Go ahead,
Um,
say. You could say
so
assassin.
yeah,
we're not monetized. You could say it. It's good.
um,
Um,
well,
he
he
wrote
got a lot of hate and a
right.
lot of like the cancel culture type of thing, and I didn't realize that. And this is the creator of Black Mirror,
Hmm. Right,
not just
and
this
just.
episode, but all of Black
Mhm.
Mirror, and he had the same exact experience, basically.
Right. And just a brief synopsis on, not going into details, but just for anybody watching this later or anyone in the chat who didn't see the episode, it is kind of the premise on uh, basically cyberbullying and bullying on the internet based on it has a few people like a news reporter and some political people and other people just doing unkind things that just get cyberbullied. And there is at the same time going on, there is climate change issue where they're working on scientifically getting the bees to pollinate, getting these cyber bees. They're robotronic bees, right? They're like not real, but they can pollinate. So they're using these large hives of these mechanical cybertronic, robotronic,
and they can reproduce.
Whatever, and they can reproduce bees. So there's hives all over the place. Well, long story short, someone decides to make a message to the world about bullying and hacks in through a back door of
It's always the back door.
It's Can you save that for mayhem, please?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm mature enough.
I don't know. I can't either. I can't turn it off either. But I don't know. Anyway,
hey, just chat.
Hello, Chastity. How are you? And thank you for showing some love. I love when she comes to show some love. She's a loving person. But anyway, they get in through the back door, the internet back door, the program back door.
Try not to say it again.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it. Somebody help me in the chat because she's going to keep doing this to me. Somebody have pity on me.
I'll behave.
But anyway, they put it in there. No, you can, because I need a good laugh. I was so tired. The coffee wasn't helping. It's good. They get in through the back door and they take over the program and they start controlling the bees. And they weaponize the cyber bees and start using them like little bee assassins, little robot bee assassins. Now, when you say that this didn't bother you as much as others, let me tell you.
Yeah.
The thought of a cyber bee going up my nose, driving me crazy and killing me, that kind of got to me, JC, just a little bit. It did. It just kind of freaked me out. You know why? Because I knew it was probably possible on some way. Like, I read a lot of sci-fi when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like Huxley and Asimov, and I'm a huge Douglas Adams fan. And
hey,
just
Dark
all
Magician.
Sorry. I still do gaming, like all of them. Okay. But it went to the real sci-fi stuff when they talk about, the things that might be possible in the future. Well, I've seen a lot of that kind of come around in some way, So like when they say about these bees being, I know you can control large amounts of little programs with a bigger program. That just makes sense to me. So these cyber bees are all just little tiny programs flying around, and I know that somebody with bad intent could take control of that if they really wanted.
Absolutely. That kind of goes by like things that we've discussed before. It's abuse of power, right? Even when we were talking about the episode that kind of mimics Britney Spears' conservatorship. A conservatorship in and of itself, or drones in and of itself, are not necessarily bad. That solved a problem. It helped still pollinate plants so we could have food, creating those bee drones. But somebody that had evil intent abused that power and caused it to be a horrible thing.
Right. And in every Black episode, what we add is the social layer of the internet and the way things go nowadays, and how, like, you don't like all right. There was the incident where the girl peed on the statue, right? I mean, people, all right, young people do stupid stuff. They write graffiti, they deface things, they make stupid statements. She was young, right? She peed on the statue. Somebody took offense to it. They did like a video cam. They posted it on the internet. She started to they showed brilliantly the hundreds and hundreds of text messages that she was getting that were all hateful. The barrage that happens to you on the internet if it trends. I mean,
that is true.
I get a lot of bullshit, but to this date, I have not trended on that way, thank goodness, because man, just watching those dings, just hearing the ping, the ping, the ping, the ping. Yeah,
that's psychological too. Absolutely.
And then she can't turn away. She throws her phone away, but it's on the computer too. It's here too. It's there too. It's like everywhere she goes. No escape to it. So he makes a point to let those bees be weaponized with it. They start a hashtag, right? Where I figured it was this like murder or something, you should die, or murder, whatever.
Right.
And apparently, if somebody put that hashtag, that person would get targeted by these bees.
Yeah, it was like
And
a request, a call to action. Like,
a
hey,
call to action, like, oh yeah, bee, go get this person. They're canceled. It was cancel culture to the max. Like can't,
the bat signal for it almost, you
yeah,
know?
it was like the cyber bee signal for the cancel culture to come. And somebody calls you canceled, and then a cyber bee goes up your nose and just ruins your brain. Okay. And it happened to a rap star who said the wrong thing, right? At the
Yeah, he was
beginning,
cruel to a kid.
the beginning was a journalist who, I believe, this part confused me. I had to watch it a few times. I believe she wrote an article about a disabled person that wasn't exactly as kind, as she got like a lot of shit as being a cold-hearted, nasty
Right. Yes.
bitch.
I had to
But
pause that quite a few times and rewind
yeah.
it, because it was like a little blurb of like half a second. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Right. Like, what'd she do? Like, they
Yes.
showed the article, and I couldn't read the article. Like, it went really fast, and I even put it back. I couldn't catch. But I do believe I saw wheelchair. I saw this. I said,
Yes, you're
okay.
correct.
So maybe they were either calling her an ableist, or they were calling. You were just saying she wasn't politically correct. She probably did step the line. They might have had an issue, but damn, she got so much hate. She's walking down the street, and people are actually stopping to curse her out and walk away. Like,
Right.
that's how much hate, because she has a recognizable face as a journalist. But one of my favorite scenes always, did you love the scene with the cake? A baker from a bakery, they delivered her a cake, and
Right.
it said something foul on it, but what does she do? Like, I love this. And of course, she had red hair, right, JC?
Of course.
She had red hair. She cuts the cake. She eats the cake. She said, whatever.
I know, I loved it.
I was like, yes, okay.
Thanks for the cake. It was a way to turn it around,
That's for the cake, But you could see it was wearing on it. You saw her eyes change from when she was walking down the street to like 2 days later, and you saw the corners of her eyes. She was looking worn. It gets to be so wearing. And she's a journalist. She's used to it, But when they started with this hashtag all on her, and everywhere she went and everything she did, it was all cancel culture. Like, you were the worst person in the world. It's like no common sense whatsoever. You're not even thinking. It's like a big red wave.
It's almost
right?
if the person becomes a like whipping post for everybody's negative emotions and what's wrong with the world. It's like they almost take it too far, where is this really about the issue, which it perhaps started out that way, and maybe there's some justification to them having consequences to their action. To what degree, that's debatable. Probably never death, but is it, you almost see sometimes people lashing out at the target of the cancel culture, and you can tell they don't really know what's going on. They're just getting on the hate train, and it almost just seems like they're using it as a way to lash out their negative emotions. Like, oh, you get to be my punching bag today. Let me just go after you because it's acceptable right now to do so.
And it's just, they make it when you're in a big crowd like that, right? They feel more emboldened to say whatever they want to say, like they're not going to get judged. But hey, we see you. I'm sorry, I'm still judging. I see that crowd. I don't care how big the crowd is. It's still bad. It's still awful. But always has a point here. The fact that they weaponize the bees with facial recognition is terrifying. Thank you, because I don't want to leave that part out. They used every part of technology. Like, you could not get away from these bees. First of all, they're little itty tiny, programmable little bees. There's not a crack or whatever. Like, you're going in and out of your house, you shut all your windows. It's gonna find you. It's going on facial recognition, and they got all the time in the world. You don't see them around.
They
they're
don't
in
have
a
to go
bush.
to the
They're in
bathroom or anything.
Right.
They're just chilling, man.
They're just chilling, waiting for you. It could have taken days. Like, once your number was up, that was it. And the horrific, I don't know, always, if you don't mind me calling by the first part of your tag, it was horrible to watch those detectives have to try to save this girl. And when that bee came with the nose, Mm-mm. To have to
Yeah.
watch that, I was like, "Oh, this is it." That's what did it for me. That's what I said about
Because people
Terrified. Like,
either wound up, what did it hit? A part of their brain that was the your brain's pain sensor. So
it
what it
did, and the
did when
pain
it went
was
inside, it was just really, really intense pain. So like the first lady, the journalist that Clear's talking about, she wound up slashing her own throat because it was just too intense. She wanted to make it stop. So that's
Mhm.
how horrible the pain was. Like, you think maybe, okay, a little bee going in your ear, what's the big deal? But they went straight into the people's brain and hit their
Mhm.
pain sensor. So
Yep.
it was
Exact
horrific, and you can't get
it
it
was.
out. It's not like you can just
Mm-mm.
pull it out and stop it. It's in there.
Mhm. And this is perfect line. This is why I loved it so much always, because she was saying, about her job and the justification of what she did, especially when she said it's
The
cake.
journalist.
That's the cake's job. Yeah, because she kept justifying her comments about this person that were pretty hurtful, and apparently she didn't toe the right line on it. And she did go over the line, but she kept saying it. Her justification for it and why she got canceled was because she kept hiding behind, well, I'm a journalist, that's what I do. But
Right.
you don't have to eviscerate people. But the way she said, but it's cake. That's the cake's job. Like, that's what I do. It's the job. But yeah, I
It's its
got
job to
that,
be
and it was
eaten.
great.
It's my job to be hated.
And I have to tell you, one of the things I love about Charlie Brooker's series here, and I
Hmm.
hope, like, I don't know, there's rumors that they might continue it, they might not. I know it was canceled. I haven't seen any new episodes. Someone needs to pick up this baton, okay? Because Charlie Brooker, the way he writes this stuff, if you get into the things that the characters say, they are always socially applicable, and he's making a point. He is so well written in the screenplay, no matter what the subject is. All
Right.
those little lines like that line, when you first see it, it doesn't really look like it means anything, right? And then you play it back or you watch the episode again, you're like, yep,
Yes.
that's what, snarky, liked the redhead more. Sorry, she's gone. But, you know, um, it was like, she got it. She absolutely got it. But
Right.
yeah, I just, the
I
whole
think he
thing.
went on, or I don't, I never verified it, but I believe they were saying that they didn't put out a series in 2020 was because 2020 itself was too Black Mirror for Black Mirror.
2020
So
is the Black Mirror
it
episode for
is,
2020.
yes.
Oh, we could write
Speaking
it,
of
JC.
which, I either tweeted this or put on my Facebook or whatever when the murder hornets were coming out last year or
Oh
being
yeah,
reported
yeah.
on. I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, I've seen
Cyber
this
base,
episode.
cyber
I know what to do.
assassins.
Don't piss
Yeah,
anybody off. Keep my
stay off
opinions to
the internet.
myself." I mean,
Stay off the
think about
internet.
it. Think of how, I mean, we're still kind of, not really healed from everything, but especially the divide about race and George Floyd at that time. And then the murder
Mhm.
hornets came out. I'm like, I have seen this fucking episode. This is
Definitely.
Black. I am living in Black Mirror and Handmaid's Tale. I'm living in all of it. Oh my God.
Aren't we?
No.
Aren't we? But we are. We actually are. Especially a series like Black Mirror, the way they just attack onto the social issue
Right.
all the time. It's about how social media is absolutely interfering or fueling. It's either interfering with it, fueling it, causing it, making it worse, trying to solve it. The social media and the way we connect now on the
Yeah.
internet throughout the world is the basis of every Black Mirror episode. It's in there somewhere, and they're making a point about it, and how things have changed and how they go from 0 to 10,000 like quick. So
Right. Absolutely. It's insane. And it's made me think like, okay, I mean, this isn't the first time I've thought about it, but again, a little bit different as being a YouTube creator, whatever. Like,
mhm.
I'm I'm fearful, and I know it's probably going to happen one day. I'm going to say something offensive that I didn't realize was offensive, or just piss somebody off.
Mhm.
How, what do you think is correct accountability online? and what isn't? And are there different levels? Like if someone does say something blatantly racist or homophobic, do like never are they never redeemable? Are like
Oh, I never say never.
yeah,
It's all about I don't like that word because to me it doesn't exist. As soon as somebody says the word never, it's like you boxed yourself in. You're
that
not
is
leaving
true.
yourself open for possibility
Got
or
to eat your
you
words for
yeah,
sure.
you're not even looking forward, you're like looking forward to change or anything that could happen. Like, no one knows that. Like, just take for example, as being a woman in your 20s, you might say, I don't want to have kids ever, you know?
Hey, that was
And then, hey,
me.
that was my daughter too. Never, you're never gonna be a grandmother. Don't worry about it.
That
It's
was
never, ever,
me.
ever, ever gonna happen. I don't know. Whoops, met the right person. Well, did I say that? That's the conversation now. Did I actually say that? And I'm like, no, you can
Mm-hmm.
never say never. I've had people say, nope, you'll never do this, or I will never do this for you, or I will never give into that, and no, it's not. And you just change your mind. You have to leave yourself open for the growth that happens every second of the day. Okay.
Right.
A human being in this world is growing and learning every single second of the day. You are experiencing things, you are hearing them, seeing them,
Right.
looking for them, talking to, whatever it is you're doing, even eating good food,
So, do
everything.
you think there is ever a time where someone's not redeemable or something
No,
isn't
no.
redeemable?
But it ain't words. That I'll draw the line. I will say everyone is redeemable to some extent. Doesn't mean you have to have anything to do with them. They're redeemable to
True.
themselves and society in some way if they do the work. Now, it may never, now that's not to say that everything just goes back to normal because, shit happens.
Sure.
You got to be accountable and you accept all the consequences, which means if you, like, let's just use a friendship, for example. If you
Yeah.
stab someone in the back, like without details, let's just say someone breaks your trust, stabs you in the back,
I
proves
said
that
I
you
was
can't
sorry
trust
for
them.
making a backdoor joke. I'm
I know
sorry.
you did, but here's your consequence now, JC. Here it is. Like now you've proven to me that hey, when it comes to backdoor, you're always gonna go there.
I'm
So
always
now
going to go in the back door.
so now
Okay,
I
sorry.
have to protect my back door. It's okay. I'll accept your apology for making me leery. And I'll
But if I
accept your
keep doing
apology.
it right, then
Yeah,
am I
but
really
hey,
sorry?
you're not really sorry. That's it. There's the accountability. Well, we don't know yet because, well, yeah, we do because you just did it again. But you turned this into a whole different thing.
I
I'm
did.
not letting you rest on the weekends anymore. No, 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 no. No,
I
no,
got
no.
too much rest.
I know you got this is the new JC. This is the JC version
I did take a nap today, so this
1.245.
is nap
This is
JC.
the
That
nap
doesn't normally happen. I don't normally
Oh,
get a nap.
don't let it happen again. No, actually, I love it. I'm just teasing you, but I'm just saying. And then if I don't want to trust you every time you say the word back door again, that's up to me, right? Like I'm allowed to draw that line.
Sure.
Things may not ever go the same. I'm not going to beat you up about it. I'm not going to every time I see you, going to go, boom, JC. Remember what you said back door to me, like
Right.
JC,
You don't have to
JC.
beat the person to death or,
Exactly. Right, but they have to
send
accept
drone
the
bees to my
consequence
brain.
that I'm allowed to make my judgment based on what they did and what I will put myself up for again. I mean, and some people will say fine and forgive you and everything will go on as normal, and some people won't. And depending on what actually happened. So everything
Yeah.
can't go back to normal, but it can go forward. I mean, forward
Right.
in a different way, and you can just carry on and go your separate ways or not, or adjust your relationship or whatever. And that happens in work environments, and it happens in personal relationships, parental relationships, everything. So
Yes. I wonder in this case, what would have been instead of this extreme consequence of killing people through drone bees, what would be an acceptable consequence for the journalist or for the rapper, for those people who did. I mean, they didn't really physically do anything horrible. They just kind
they
of
did it.
said
Yeah.
horrible or
But
not popular
remember,
things.
this was all revenge. He had a reason. This was one man
Right.
who
True.
watched cancel culture. Because we're not even getting to the good part yet. I know Always is waiting because the twist in this is so delicious. It is. I love it when he does this. It was a longer episode, and I was watching every second of it because I was just waiting for the twist. It was
Right.
so good. When the person who does the programming, okay, you think that this is it, that he's just mad that people are getting away with being bullshit on the internet, so he's just canceling people because he can, because he's just evil.
He's the one behind the control of the bees, right?
He has hijacked them, right?
Right.
And in the beginning, I don't know, Always, did you think it was the computer guy at the environmental center? Like, I was looking at him sideways because when the way they wrote it, they were really trying to make us think it was him, right? Because he was like looking at the computer and running around and trying to get everybody to leave so they didn't see what he was doing, and like only talking in short sentences and not giving any information to the investigators or anything like that. But he did make a point. When the actual government came in with the detectives to investigate, Charlie Brooker took the opportunity to also make a very valid point that whenever new technology like this gets invented, if you're going to be using it around the city, the government, in the state, they try to take over and put a back door in there so they can always get in and see what is going on. And so
they always want to have their eyes on it, their control on it.
Right. And that is actually how this person was able to take control of these bees. He didn't leave it up to the company that invented the bees to protect their own product. They did a back door in so the government could be there. And that is how this person got in. And Charlie Brooker did a very good job of making that evident and wheedling that into the storyline so we can all go see, like, you're always trying to do good, people, and you always end up messing it up. Like, he did a nice little smack on the government there for that, because they did, they got a back door in and they can't manage it. Like, if you're going to have a back door, be in control of it. Okay. Have a process to manage it. It can't be like that. And always, if you have notes on any episodes, you could send them to myself or JC. We would love. And if you ever want to come up here with us, you are such a fan of Black Mirror, we will send you a link and bring you up here in a second, because talking about this stuff, as you can tell, we're talking and talking and talking. This gets us off.
It's so much fun.
It does. I love this.
We would sit here and do this on phone calls by ourselves.
We would just be the two of us. We decided we would torture you all with it instead, because we're evil like that. We're just two evil bitches wanting to torture you two people to sit. But anyway, but
You're
no,
welcome, everyone.
I am serious. That we are serious about that. Always, we would love to see the concerns, because I think we're touching on it lightly, but I think we're all heading in the same direction with some of the messages with here. So anytime.
You know what I kind of thought about this time? I don't know if it was his intent with this, but I felt like it was kind of symbolic of, okay, all these people reading things about them online,
right,
being bombarded by it, seemingly can't escape it. And the bees going into their brain. I almost felt like it was symbolic of driving yourself crazy if you read too much about yourself online, or just social media in and of itself. If you're too attached to it and too concerned with what people are saying, how they're saying it, who they're talking to, who they're not talking to.
Exactly.
It can just play tricks on your brain, and you can make a sane person go crazy.
That's symbolic. That is something I thought. I'm glad you picked up on that. That is another message in there. Definitely, on how it does that. But now that we brought up the bad guy, okay, now if I'm going to assume everybody saw the episode, so we're not going to do spoilers, because hey, it's already been out there for years. So
or if
it's
not,
really
it'll make them interested
and
curious in watching it. So
even if after you hear this, and if you have not watched the episode, no matter what we say about it, please go watch it. It's worth it on its own. It has a lot of stuff in it if you like that kind of stuff. When I say Hitchcockian, I mean it. It was good, and it had all the undertones.
I thought it was undertones, but
It's
I'm not great
tones.
with words.
Yeah. No, it's tones. It was like it's just a joke from my daughter. Used to always say undertoads,
Aw.
like the little frogs.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
cute.
on all the undertones and messages that like are just below the surface, the innuendos, the did I really hear that? Is that what he means? Like it
Yeah.
kind of gets you to think. And I love stuff that trips that in my brain, like that just gets that little crackling and firing going there.
These definitely make you think for sure.
Mhm.
There's no way to watch a Black Mirror episode and not have you think.
And not. So this bad guy, right? Who is
Yes.
not the computer guy.
Always Createful said that they thought it was the computer guy at first, or even possibly Blue for a brief time.
Oh yes. You know what? Blue, because she didn't care, did she? When that government guy was standing over her shoulder and she just went right into the hacking system that he goes, "You're not supposed to have any access there." She goes, "Yeah, I know." Just like that. Yeah, I know. Like she didn't care. And I'm like, oh, she could be the bad guy. She has just enough. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever I want. If she was vengeful, she could do this.
Perfect, you know.
Mm-hmm. She had attitude. She did. Like she
hiding
didn't like
in plain sight.
Mm-hmm. She had the access. I was there with you just for a hot second or two, maybe even a few minutes. Actually, I was there, and but then I started thinking like this is too easy. We already know the plot from the very start. We know what they're doing with these bees. Like we know somebody's controlling them and killing people. Like what's going on here? They lay it all out for us. So I'm like, all right, all right. So then the bees, they get the next person. And all of a sudden, we find out that this guy is in there, but he's got a plan. He's got a big plan, right, JC?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to drop it?
No, you go ahead.
All right. He takes the hashtag that everybody was abusing on the internet to go after other people because they didn't like something that they did, to cancel another human being. The people that were using that hashtag, were they not technically sending killer bees after a person, an individual?
Oh, absolutely.
This mofo changes the program to use the hashtag to then decimate those bees after every single person on the planet that used that hashtag, to wipe out all of the people who think that cancel culture is okay.
Right.
Because he was actually he sacrificed these people at first, these 6-7 people that got killed, right? It was starting to be like a big series of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how come the government got involved after the second or third one, because of the bee. They found the bee in 3 people. Yep. I mean, if you find a cyber bee in 2 people, in 1 person, I'm worried. 2 people, whoa, shit. 3 people, I'm like, where are we going to go?
This is not a coincidence. After 3, for sure.
Nope. You get 3 killer bees. It's time to rebuild Atlantis. Like, there's nowhere you can go. You got to go underwater. But anyway, so this guy, the genius of it, he just gets them all comfortable to use it, show how foul and how evil people can be, and prey on their most lowest instinct to dogpile and cancel people. And he twisted on them, and he sent at the end all the bees after all those people, like no matter where they were, they were gone. And that graphic with the map showing all of the bees that were engaged over the world, there wasn't a spot on that world map that wasn't covered with cyber assassin bees.
It kind of really sheds light on you think you can hide behind a computer, but you can't. Even if, hopefully it will never become a reality that, bee drones can come to our brains and kill us, but it'll get to you somehow. I'm a firm believer in you reap what you sow, and you can be a nasty person online and it is still going to affect your life in some area. It's going to eat away at you if you're that cruel of a person. And I'm not talking about regular, everybody has their asshole moments. Hopefully not to, say we should kill someone else, but everybody can be a jerk in real life and online. But if you've got some just unresolved issues that are causing you to lash out to that extreme where you wish death on someone,
Yeah.
then even if there aren't drones to come after you, you're going to be affected in your life somehow. Your
Mm-hmm.
relationships are going to be affected. You yourself, we all know when we're
Mm-hmm.
not being the best self that we can be, or the nicest self that we can be. We can beat ourselves on, like, oh yeah, JC, that was I
Mm-hmm.
kind of took that a little too far. I was a little too
Right.
cruel, or too, you know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
got to sit alone with your own thoughts.
That's
So
it. But that's the thing that the internet is no longer letting us do. I think that is one of the
yeah,
points that Charlie Brooker tries to make in almost every episode, is that
yeah,
we
the
are
internet's
so.
forever.
I know me. I have terrible habits. How close? Just ask yourself, everyone. How close do you sleep with your phone connected to all these other people, to your bed, to anywhere near
Yeah,
you at any given
yeah.
time? What time of night do you actually turn off your laptop and your connection with the free world? Like,
I didn't know I was gonna be scolded on the stream. Gosh,
I told you I'd get you for that backdoor shit. No.
jeez.
Hey, listen, I am the worst. I'm not saying anything about anybody else's habits, because I am the worst. I am sitting in my room on my king size bed with my laptop on my lap. Like, your
Yeah,
bedroom is no longer your quiet, safe space where you go to reflect or you go to sleep, or
true.
when's the last time anybody sat at the dining room table and drank a cup of tea without their phone? Or
Gosh, mom,
I
jeez, I don't
know, I know,
know.
I know. But believe me, I am guilty, because it's been at least since way before the pandemic. Okay. At least right around then. And I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
so connected. And some of you are really good friends with you in my company. You're like, I go to you to talk to you about stuff. You're on the internet. I'm going and I'm talking to you and I'm relating to you. And I don't have the physicality of someone like right here with me.
right.
So in a way, it's a really, really good thing, but there has to be some kind of balance too. Like, you have to balance some in real life there, or we're going to starve to death. I'm going to start smelling really bad, and I'm never going to go out of the house again. And I don't know, all that
Right.
stuff. So you do have to balance it out. I'm just as guilty, if not more, than every other person who's listening to this. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's Charlie Brooker's point, and he's right. I'm just backing him up, saying he's got a point. He's got a very valid point.
It's a
And I
necessary evil, so to speak, right?
right,
It
and
kind of
I
goes
want him.
along. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. I'm
It
done.
kind of goes along with that. In this case, it's not abuse of power, but goes along with the just because it's available, should you have access to it. I can't remember what
Mhm.
episode we were talking about where that kind of came up, but you got to
Mhm.
have self-control,
That would have been in the history of you, where it talked about total
Oh,
memory
yeah.
recall,
Looking back.
and how you had everybody else's in there too,
Yes.
and you had possession of them and could do whatever you wanted with them, which was
Right.
scary. That one,
And
yeah,
how
that
other
just.
people's memories, you watching their memories, could now become your memories.
Mhm.
Always Grateful has a good point. I feel that the antagonist became disillusioned with social media and created the death too. That was the
That's
hashtag
the
movement,
hashtag.
whatever. He knew
Mhm.
the obsession people would have with social media and watching the train wrecks that happen. You
Yes,
know what?
because he was a victim. He was a co-victim of a situation.
Right.
It was devastating. That's what turned him. He was making a big statement against that, like, oh, you're all going to do this, like, you're going to use that, like, you're going to cancel somebody. That story was heartbreaking to me,
Yeah.
because
Explain what happened.
it came out in an interview that the detectives were interviewing a young girl, and she had cut marks on her wrist that she had tried to kill herself. Apparently, the antagonist is in this story because she tells the story of how she tried to, because of this social media doing something and getting all of this hate, she tried to kill herself. She got naked, got into the bathtub, cut her wrists. Her
Right.
roommate is the one who saved her, wrapped her up in a towel, dragged her out, and got her to the hospital. Okay, but it messed up his mind.
Yeah.
Ergo, who do you think the roommate is? The roommate is the antagonist. He almost lost his good friend. His good friend was so funny and so bright. And you know what she said when he wrapped him up in the towel to take her out of the room? She goes, "Get out of here. I'm naked. Like, you're only my roommate." Like, she's
Right.
dying. And she's going, but I'm naked,
and still concerned with vanity, right?
and still, yeah. So I was like, that was a real person. They obviously had a really good relationship, but it got him. It got him because he knew people could turn people to this kind of desperation. A
Right.
good person who was really good to him, who was full of life and funny. Obviously, she was funny as fuck, right, JC? Because
Yeah.
she's in the bathtub naked and she's going, get out of here. I'm naked. Like, I'm bleeding to death. I'm dying, but don't look.
Right.
I'm like, you know, a person like that is going to lose their life because a whole bunch of people decided that you did something they didn't like, and they couldn't just have a conversation with you about it. They had to beat you to death with it, to the point that you can't even think about being here. You
Right.
can't even think about being here and facing the dings on the computer anymore, or seeing the words. And she was not an unstable person. Let's just make that clear. The person who cut their wrist was not an unstable person. The person who peed on the statue, I don't think that was an unstable person who was getting all of that hate. They were
Right.
not. They were getting traumatized. That girl was shaking. Did you see the physical shaking that was happening
Yeah.
to her while she was listening to that? It moved me. The rap star, he was a little out there, but I don't think he was crazy. Okay, did he deserve whatever he said? Did he deserve? Was he so bad? He didn't rape, murder, kill. He didn't go after children. Did he deserve
He did
what he had?
criticize a kid. No, he did not deserve death. But
Right.
yes, he did criticize a kid and call them his fan, in fact, and call him stupid and he couldn't dance and he's dumb and whatever.
Right. He took out somebody who was
some
a stand-up
accountability
for,
was deserved. Maybe
Mhm.
like people could not show their support anymore by not purchasing his art anymore, and then there you go,
Mhm.
problem solved. But death, no.
No. But that's what that was the point, that he knew he could weaponize it. So what he did is he put it out there, like I always said, he put it out there because he knew they would use it, and he knew he'd catch them all. He knew they couldn't resist going to the lowest part of themselves and putting it out there, and that he was going to cull the crowd, right? He's going to make the world a better place. He's going to get rid of all of them at once. He's going to cancel.
And people jumped at the opportunity. So many people.
They did. But here's the hook, JC. This is the part I love. He wrote the program to cancel culture.
Right.
Who goes there? Like, that's brilliant. I mean, yeah, he's a bad guy. He killed a lot of people, but
yeah, he did it.
That was brilliant.
Fucked up manner, but
he did. And the bees survived. That was the worst part, is to hear every time those bee wings went off. Like, JC, I hear that. I do. My phone, unfortunately, one of the notifications I get just sounds a little too much like it. It's really starting to get to me. Like, I have to watch the next episode, like, really.
So you can get it out of your brain.
I do. Somebody needs to put something else in my brain besides porn mayhem that happens on Saturday night, which is all there anyway. I'm getting kind of used to that. So, but.
We've all made you demented.
No, I was this way. You just all come and support it. Yeah, you just come, help it along a little bit. You're feeding my monster. That's it. You're feeding my beast is what it is. But no, but just the beauty of just trying to cancel culture, just putting that out there was just, oh my God. And he tried to get away with it, but he didn't get away with it. And they caught that young girl with all that computer skill. Like, he wrote a great What I love about Charlie Brooker also, JC.
Yes.
Strong women characters.
You know what? That is true. That is absolutely true.
Real people, multifaceted women. They're detectives, they're computer hackers, they're sassy journalists. They are real and multidimensional. Not just the girl.
Not everyone's all good or all bad. Mostly. Some people are kind of
relatable as a for me,
almost
as a woman,
a mirror of ourselves, one would say.
I wish I was as tall as that redhead. She was tall. She was, that was good. But anyway, I'm not a tall person. But anyway, like, short people want to be tall people want to be small. I don't know. But I do like his strong characters. He's strong characters. Even the men are multidimensional. But when he wants to play as a guy being a fluff, he does it really well. Like he
Yeah.
puts some flat ones in there. I think he does it on purpose to think if we're gonna come out on him. And
Always
no.
grateful asked. And hi, Cassandra. It's okay. Sorry it didn't give you notifications.
No, sorry, I did get
We're
one on my phone. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cassandra, if you unsubscribe to me and subscribe to me again, sometimes it fixes it. Or just go and take the bell off and then put it back on all again.
that's
I've had this
helped
happen.
me.
Yeah.
Like
And
whenever I forget whose it was, I just turned all notifications off and then turned them all back on, and then I started
mhm.
getting them again.
Right, because I've been getting from like every channel that I subscribe to, including myself. Although I don't subscribe to myself, but I put the reminder on the videos.
It's helpful,
You know,
isn't it?
it does because oh Claire, you got to be here. You
Right.
want to show up? You're like you only scheduled the stream yourself. You want to get your butt over there? Yeah, no, yeah, it does help, JC. It actually does. Stop! You're showing my underwear here that I'm not wearing. Here we go. It's like always. I did hear her say about the white bear, but I'm not so sure about that. Can you clear this for me? Can you write me a little bit here so I get it right? Because I don't want to misconstrue that.
I'm just trying to look up what white bear is.
I thought she was saying something there because this, as we were saying, this is a very clever girl. She's a computer genius. She's like, what, number 2, the second, the shadow to the detective. As a matter of fact, the person I was watching the episode with, I didn't even remember her name. We just kept calling her the shadow. Like, the second person in the investigation as a common term, not to be disrespectful, just because we didn't remember. But she was also written beautifully.
Right.
When they went through the trauma of trying to save that girl, getting her out of her apartment, running through the streets of London or wherever it was, because it was in the UK. You're scaring me, people in the UK. Like this technology, this stuff that's going on. Like it was scary. They're running all over the place, get her in a car, everything like that. They get her up into another room, right? They're going to save her, but a bee gets in. Okay. And the bee knows who to get because he has so brilliant with the program. He made it facial recognition. So everybody has their face out there somewhere, right? Somewhere your face is. Even this bear, don't go looking, people. But even this bear who does not have a picture on my channel or on any of my social media accounts that I recall. Wait, lied. There is an eyeball on my IG. I did switch. That is my eyeball. So the bee can get me. The bee can get me now, JC.
Oh, no. It knows what your eyeball looks like.
And now that it's been there, it is forever on the internet. And what am I going to do? Like, I'm just going to have to live with it. My eyeball is now condemned me. I am now
wear color contacts from now on. Confuse everyone.
Oh, Peter, yeah, you heard it. Oops, I'm late for my own stream. It happens. It happens sometimes.
Well, sometimes I think even when you tweeted this out, what was it, Friday or something? I was like, wait a minute. What? Oh, that's me. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I'm doing a stream with her. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yay. Thank goodness for reminders and retweets of my own project.
Oh, that's it. The white bear. Okay, okay. So here it is. She said that she cracked the Rana case, which was the case in White Bear. That is why she left forensics. Okay, in the back there. Yes. Okay. Thank you. That makes it even better. I'm going to go research. Thank you very much for clearing that up. You see, this is, you should get a little brave enough to come up with us, but your research is amazing. And I'm so glad you like this with us because we could nerd out together. Like, you know what? If you don't want to come on stream, just come hang with me and JC and StreamYarns in the back room for a while to talk about this stuff. We will have a Black Mirror party with you always.
Because I can't wait to do the White Christmas episode because I feel like there are ties to a particular Twilight Zone episode. And, well, the 15 million merits, that's about something I didn't know was like for real. So I can't wait for that one too. But I've picked up some parallels in White Christmas and a Twilight Zone episode. So it's so cool to hear the other little, Are they Easter eggs? Like, what are they? Just little
All the little,
tidbits
just these
and
little tidbits, but that's it. It's
yeah,
so intriguing. Like when I go back, I'm so happy to rewatch these. Like I did watch them. Some of them I've already watched twice, but I'm happy to go back every time and rewatch because I'm never disappointed. You always see another little layer, another little twist. You catch another little phrase, and it just adds
absolutely.
to the depth of the story. It adds to all the little innuendos. I can't. I don't know. Once I get
I can't
hooked
believe
on
I didn't
someone's,
catch that at first. That was a
I
good
you
catch
know,
always.
a great catch always. I
And hey,
can't wait.
cuz.
Hi Sue, look at you all blue, being all wrenchy inside. What do you mean she's recording? I'll send them to you, Sue, if you want them. Save your brain power. You want them? I got a downloader. I'll send you my videos. You don't have to do that. I don't know what you're trying to do there, Mrs. Cassandra, but don't start trouble with my mods. They're rough. Don't play. This ain't here, right?
They're rough in these
JC, we
YouTube
could say
streets.
this, right? Okay, hold on to your shorts here. Mrs. Cassandra, this is not Erin's chat. Sue gets to do what she likes to do. You better really be careful because she'll
She
get you.
gonna get you.
Yeah, I don't mess with my own mods. I'm telling you that right now. You people, you better behave in there because we'll deal with it afterwards. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and I will deal with it after the fact. I'm not even going in that chat and messing with anything that goes on in there. My mods rule in there. They're awesome. I mean, who would I say this all the time, right, JC? Who'd fuck with Puddle? Really? Not me.
Nobody.
Not me, and not Sue either. You better behave. You better behave. Oh, so you're doing the exposed? Would you like go get the clips from last night's mayhem? It was good. I was tongue-tied a lot. They got me good. Especially, you'll appreciate this, especially the whole gang from Australia came and
Nice.
yeah, it
I
was
know.
it
I'm
was
probably
yeah.
gonna or not re-listen because I wasn't able. Claire knows, it's not a secret. I was camping this weekend and I had like one little bar of signal, and I love Midnight Mayhem. It is so funny. It is so fun. And I'm sad. I thought I would at least be able to listen, but I couldn't. So I think tomorrow morning when the kids are in school and I'm having my second or third cup of coffee, I may need to be careful, I guess, so I don't choke on it. But I want to re-listen to it for sure.
No, they're fun. I had somebody tell me they actually try to have their coffee with them in the morning. I'm like, that's dangerous because I mean,
I know I've thought about that as I'm saying it.
yeah,
Like
the
maybe I
people,
shouldn't.
yeah, the people that I find funny if I try to watch theirs in the morning with coffee, I don't want to get gross, but it's constantly coming out my nose. Like I do spit, I spit it out because I laugh. Because like if I think something funny, I have a real hearty, like out my nose kind of laugh. It's just gonna happen. So
It's
it's
that much
dangerous.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like Erin did that to me with a couple of her uploads, and she would send it to me early and I put it on and it poof, burning my nose right out,
It's definitely somebody you can't drink coffee or any kind of beverage and watch. You'll be cracking up and choking on your drink. I'm also a dystopian society nerd, always grateful. They
She
wrote
did.
that earlier.
Oh, did she put it up there? I don't
Yeah.
even see. Oh, there it is.
It's kind of way up there.
We are. That's a good word for it. We are. I've been reading it and loving it. Maybe we should have got it out and we should have became writers. We still can, JC.
We still can. Heck,
This
we
pe-
can write sci-fi and maybe somebody will think it's a religion and follow it. What? Scientology? What?
No, I want to do Scientology for sure, but I don't have anybody willing to throw themselves in front of that Mack truck because
that's a little scary.
Because of course I'm going to want to
Not the
hashtag
thing
it.
itself, but the people associated with it,
The
and the
people
who get
associated with
stalked,
it,
and
right?
people going through their trash, and
I have big issues with it. I hate how they hijack stuff, and I really want to tackle it. And I am going to hashtag it if I do it because that's why I'm doing it, right? Like I want it known.
Sure, yeah.
And everybody's like, nope.
You want a discussion,
right? But they're like, if you're going to be hashtagging it and putting it out there, what you're going to put it on YouTube? Hell no. I'll talk to you in private about it, but hell no. Go get away from me with that shit. I can't.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
it's a little nerve-wracking for sure. I mean, they're kind of weird too about who they who they go after and don't. You would think, oh, I'm a nobody. I'm not doing anything. I'm not anything to the Church of Scientology or whatever. But sometimes they just go after people you wouldn't think, like a small town news people or oh my gosh, journalist. Like, why? It's not really affecting you. It's not really, their article isn't that popular, but I don't know. So yeah, you might be on your own with that one. I might watch. I might not comment, but I'll watch.
Oh my God. So the chat has gone crazy. We have to get all the ways back here because they're going. Miss Cassandra, you just like, first of all, read this. Can you see this? I am hurt. Thought we had something special. Sue M doesn't talk dirty like to me like you do. You got the wrong girl. It is only 10 o'clock in the evening here. And it's not even where you are. It's only 7 o'clock.
Tonight, so I at least tried to do that.
You people are pigeonholing me into a type. Hey, please go look at my channel, people. I'm not only this way. I do other stuff.
You go both ways? Is that what you're trying to say? You walked into that one. You walked into that back door, Claire.
Oh my God, I've trained them too well. This is terrible. When they take the lessons from the master and they go amok, amongst themselves. It's time for me to retire. That's it. I know. It's time for me to retire. I should just hang it up. You're all getting better at it than I am. Look at that.
Hey, we had the majority of the stream. We talk like adults the majority of the stream.
I know, but we have to get to where Blue gets her revenge on the revenge master, the antagonist, the guy who did this. Like, did you like the ending? I'm gonna bring it back to Black Mirror because just because that's just for the simple.
I felt like the ending kind of left it to maybe she got him, maybe he didn't. Maybe she didn't.
Yeah, but the fact that they were at the hearing, see, because at the end, of course, law enforcement has to go in front of this big government hearing about all these people that died and how did you know about it and what happened, okay?
Right.
And then they get to the fact that she reports that Blue, they believe, committed suicide because they found her clothes on the beach. Okay, and apparently there's
a letter or something, right?
And a letter, but apparently we all should have known that was fact because the person I watched the video with told me that that's a well-known thing about a person who did that, and they weren't dead, and it was just like that's the best way to like fake your death: put your clothes on the beach with a note, and whatever. And it was like a big case, or it was a reference to some big case.
Really?
I hope you're right. I have to put this up. We're going to talk about this always grateful because from your lips to his pen, Charlie, read this, get it in your head because I really, really hope that is true. The way that they left it was she was telling the board or whoever these investigators were or the committee all about what happened and that they believed that she was dead, and it was very sad because she couldn't handle the way that they were protecting the one young girl who pissed on the statue. I can't remember her name, so forever she will be girl who pissed on the statue to me. It's like a stuff,
right?
She couldn't handle the way she died in her arms. She was holding her when she died. They couldn't stop her from doing what she was going to do. And the bees weren't going after them. They only went after her. There was nothing that they could do. That bee crawled right up her nose. The grossest thing. That did it for me. That's it. Like, assassin cyber bees. That picture is in my head and those little bee wing sound.
Yeah, it was kind of off.
Kind of graphic. But I like that about him. He makes his point. I mean, that's what we're there for, right? If it doesn't affect us,
remember it for sure.
Right? Why bother watching it if it's not going to affect us? But she's and then it cuts to a phone message she gets in the car, and then you see a blonde who looks very much like Blue with a backpack in a foreign country, following this guy all over the place, the bad guy. Like who has changed his appearance and everything and is going off to another country. And it looks like, she gets close to him and they go around a corner and they cut it. Like we don't know what happens. So Always is saying, I felt that Brooker left it open for another episode. And I hope that is true because the bees are still there, right? Everybody, the bees are still there.
I don't think he would ever do a sequel to an episode. I don't. I think
No,
he wants you just to think, and I do not think he wants you to have closure. I think that's part of his thing. I think
you
he
know,
just wants it to be open ended and think of all possibilities and also feel a little unsettled because when something doesn't have a closure, it's unsettling. I think
no.
that's his intent. I think that would be really cool, but I really doubt he would do a sequel to any episodes or continue on the story.
I think, you know what? It's a little cruel of him, but I like it about him. Like, what a great way. Like, I want to be affected that way, actually. Like, I want to keep thinking about it.
Right.
And I want, and I have no problem trying to finish those scenarios in my head. It's quite challenging. Like, maybe we could play around with that and figure what would episode 2 be like? Like, do they actually, do the bees take over themselves? Do they take over the world? I don't know.
That's true. We could think of
But
our own episode.
But it's quite clever of him because, we all know as a man, as a woman, as, everybody, you leave people wanting more. They want more. They're not
They
done with
do.
you.
You're not
They're-
disrupting chat, Mrs. Cassandra. We're glad you're here. And we eventually are going to influence you to watch the shows.
Yes,
We'll be
it is
so
on
curious.
Netflix. They have all 5 seasons on Netflix now if you get Netflix, So you're not disrupting the chat. You can listen. And I'm glad you're here. That's good. And Sue will take care of you. I'm not worried about it. And I'm being nice. You are a favorite. You're absolutely one of our favorites in the chat. I just like watching you and Sue go back and forth at each other. But Sue's got a wrench now, so it's getting interesting. It's getting a little more dangerous. Because over at Aaron's, it's like fair, it's equal. Like.
So has Peter watched this also? I don't know. It was like, does this
I
come
don't.
out?
Peter's in the chat. We can ask him. Peter, do you?
Atticus!
Hey,
Hi.
Atticus. Nice to see you, my friend.
Tell
Glad
Boo
to
I
see you
said
back.
hi.
Yeah.
Atticus is always so cool at like playing along with my childlike, really pretending that it's Atticus Finch in the chat. I ask him about Boo Radley and Scout.
He is a favorite of mine because I'm a legal nerd. I'm just that dork. I am that dork. Yeah, yeah. I own it too. Like,
Again, I have videos on vintage almanacs and Benjamin Franklin. So I think we're in like company. I accept you. I think we're in like company.
Mm-hmm. Peter wants
I wanted to know if you
know.
watch Black Mirror. Have you seen it?
Or any of the episodes. But
dun, dun, dun. Always Grateful says Garrett left no trace of himself by going off the grid and changing his identity was because of the facial recognition with the bees. He couldn't accept or take accountability for all of the deaths.
Exactly, because wonderful point. Do you want to take this, JC? I don't
know if I agree. I thought it was just to be like a coward.
I think someone that was so impassioned about what his friend went through.
Yeah.
To be able to create this program, to get that upset about it, at what the world was doing and how people were socially doing this to other people, for him to get so impassioned about that too. Actually, I mean, that's a pretty advanced program, right? I mean,
a little bit.
Right. And it took a lot of thought because he put that twist in there and he laid the trap and, and everything.
Yeah, that was perfect.
I do believe that he actually left the grid and all, and he just wants to die alone and miserable because he is that sensitive to it, that he has now done what he didn't want them to do, he feels guilty that he let them and this situation get him there, and that he feels like a failure. That's what I think. I think she's right. I think he's hermitating it out of guilt and regret, because I don't think he's that cold that he didn't care, because he obviously cared very much for his roommate. They weren't even partners. It wasn't his child, his mother. This is his roommate. And it affected him to the point he wrote a program and did this.
Then step up and take your punishment. so to speak. You know what I mean? If you're
Mm,
he's asking everybody else to be accountable, but
yeah, but
then he's going to run away from his fate. I don't
listen,
know.
what? But you're asking him to have faith in a world that he lost faith in. Why would he put himself in the? He would rather punish himself than let others punish him because he has no faith in how
How is
things
he
work.
punishing himself? Like he was off on
Mm.
vacation basically, right?
No, I think he knows they're coming for him. I really do. I think he just doesn't want the bees to be the one to get him. You know. Um.
I'd send a whole swarm.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I,
probably haven't learned anything
I
from
don't
this
know.
episode.
I don't know. She says he couldn't accept or take accountability for all the deaths, and I agree. Like, who could? Especially the person who felt, kind enough, that and kindly towards his friend that way, and then be able to do this to all the other people is in too much. Too much.
Yeah, it might be a thing where he's kind of caught up on his
Mm-hmm.
goal, his emotions with the goal, with the obsession, with, well, maybe not
Mm-hmm.
obsession. Well, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
he's obsessed with people realizing the effects on this whole cancel culture. He wants them to understand what it feels like. So he's kind of, I
Mm-hmm.
would say obsessive with driving this point home. So I don't know.
Yeah. Always agrees with you that it was cowardly. She does. They do. They agree with you.
Well, of
And
course, I'm right.
Peter says he has seen some of the episodes, but they're behind there.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
we have all 5 here on Netflix, all 5 seasons. But the ones we're picking, like this one, is from what, season 3?
3.
I think
Yeah.
3. Yeah. So like we're going all over the place. We're not going in order at all because we skipped the big one. Like the first, if you did, like we have to talk. Did you see that first episode of Black Episode? The very first episode of Black Mirror. That hooked me right there. I was like, I can't believe I just watched this on TV. Like, I just can't believe I saw this. I was fascinated at where he went with that episode. It was, the political one in the pig. Yeah, that one.
I know. And again, I have to research and see if I'm imagining things, but that was not the first episode when I watched it.
All the hullabaloo that happened after that thing aired, I can imagine it would have made it like number 3 or 4 or whatever, because pull it, I'm surprised it's still there, because man, it was very on the nose, and then something happened like very similar. I mean, it was like, oh Lord, like, are you actually saying that? Yeah, yes, I did. Charlie Brooker said, yes, I did just say that, and I put it in color. With subtitles. No,
that was a crazy episode for sure.
It was. Oh, she said, I think always Creative says, I think he also felt his job was done by showing how he could bypass their securities with the gray area in the programming, much like people can find gray areas in terms of service on social media. Very valid point. He did bypass everything with the gray areas, with the changing his face enough that facial recognition that he used on the program would not be valid. They're not going to be able to use that. Got rid of everything as far as his own personality, like his own off the grid, everything, his name, his social, everything gone. So
speaking of facial recognition, someone's requesting a facial recognition expose on Mrs. Kanga and her doors.
But didn't you already expose Miss Kanga?
We need additional, apparently. I'm gonna need some inspiration, so it may take me a couple days.
I don't know. Yeah. She's been behaving herself. I don't know what you're gonna.
I know she has. My cuz is doing a good job.
She's been doing really good, and thank you for the shout out in your door. Your door shouted me out, and I was honored. I made the door video.
Door videos are epic. I love it.
She was using my chat to show the point on how you can block people and stuff, and she just happened to be there, and she just shouted out my channel very sweetly, and I appreciate it, Sue. Good egg. You're a good Kanga egg.
Good Kanga egg.
Good Kanga egg. It's like, and here goes another rumor. Oh, Sue, did you know I was Australian? Shh, don't tell anybody. But I was over in another stream and they were all talking about it. It was hysterical. The person up on the stream and everything. And the people in the chat, they were going, I thought that accent sounded Australian. I knew she was lying about where she was from. I was
Talking
dying.
about you?
Yes, talking about me. I was
Have
hysterical.
you been down under this whole time and I've had no idea?
I am often down under, but
now that was you. That was all you. That was not me.
I didn't say where. That's your dirty mind.
You.
That's your dirty mind. That's your dirty mind, girl.
She, you know what, Miss Cassandra? I will call my cousin out when she is acting up, but she actually did shout me out in that video.
She did. She did.
She used me as the bad example, I think. She did incorrectly. You probably don't know because she pronounced it the Dogood Letters.
She did say dog instead Dogood, but she corrected it and then she linked her channel and everything afterward and put a big apology on Twitter. She is still a good Kanga.
Well, then that might give me some inspiration there, whether or not your accent or even Kanga's accent is authentic.
Look at this. She said, "Yep, you are Aussie. That's a fake American accent that you have used." Because I'm not from New Jersey, right? Like I don't know. I'm not. I couldn't possibly be. I'm not sitting here in this big old bed by myself. Nope. Obviously in Australia.
When I did those videos, I cracked myself up because my accent was so freaking horrible. And there was one word I was trying to say and even trying to vaguely sound like it was so horrible. I probably should have put stuff up or saved it, like little outtakes or whatever. Just me cracking up at myself doing horrible accents.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was a good time. And this was a good time. This was a really, I enjoyed this episode. I guess because you're probably going to think I'm more disturbing than you thought, but
I don't think I could
find it as, like, it didn't sit bad with me as much as the other ones did. It didn't leave me that disturbed. It made me think more, but I didn't feel so, man, there's no hope in life and everything is bad. And even if we think we're good, we're all really bad. And, that's normally how I feel after. But I sounded English. Why, thank you.
That's a nice way to sound. They speak proper English. So I don't mind if anybody says that. Not that I mind that they say I'm from Australia, because I don't care. That's who I hang out with. I love accents. It's probably why I have a weird accent. I pick up accents all over, but I love an accent. I absolutely do. So I got no problem with you should have no problem being English. You just have to start using U's and S's instead of Z's if you want to be English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get called out for it all the time. I'm a hybrid. I said that in somebody's chat today, and they said, I like you even more now. Now I know. Now I understand. You're a hybrid. That's where it came from.
I understand.
Now I understand. I get it. Like, you're a hybrid. That makes it all good. But the ending, I think the reason you're more comfortable actually with the episode, even though there was some pretty messed up stuff.
That sounds horrible, right? Because people were like slit their throats and stuff like that, and I'm like, this episode wasn't so bad.
but I know, right? They got cyber bees killing people, crawling up their nose, driving them crazy. I know.
Kids. I did not.
And although that kind of stuff disturbed me, the way he laid it out, it was that possible, but really not possible kind of stuff. He gave me enough information that I know, like the way the guys were explaining the programming and all worked, that it wasn't possible yet. So I got a little bit more comfortable. Had they not put so much of that in there that I could figure that part out, I'd be really freaked out right now at the possibility that if I heard a bee or my notification goes off on my phone that sounds like the bee, like I would be a little more worried. But there were things that disturbed me. One of the most disturbing was the way people just took onto that dogpiling, hundreds and thousands, and watching what that did to a person.
Like whole mob mentality, you know what I mean?
That got to me because we see it smaller, in our little circles all here on YouTube.
Yeah,
we see it every day on Twitter. I just had it yesterday in a freaking chat with a couple of people. I just saw the whole thing fold out in front of my eyes. I tried to stop it. of course, now it's all my fault. But you know,
It always
it,
is.
it always is. But you know what? Here's the thing about that. I don't care. Because you know what? When they're going to put the blame on somebody, then go ahead. Pick the one with the strongest shoulders. Go ahead. Say it's my fault. I'm going to own
Right.
it. I'm going to own every damn thing I did about it. And if you make me, I'll speak about it. So go ahead. Blame the whole thing on me. I got the
Yeah.
shoulders. But the people I was trying to defend in that chat, leave them the fuck alone. Like, leave
Yeah.
them alone.
Because again, social media, even though it's not in person, it still affects your in-person psyche, you know? And it can be used for good influence or it can be used for cruel influence. And yes, accountability needs to happen, but how far do you beat a dead horse? How far do you punish someone? How far do you take it? That's
Right.
up to you,
That's it.
you know,
That's
and
it.
whether or not you want to jump on the bandwagon and go along with the other crazies and just stone
You
a
know,
person to death with social media, basically, you know?
exactly. Always says that she feels Blue blamed herself for not being able to stop the deaths, and that is why she went after Garrett. I believe so, because she has hacker skill and all. She feels like she should have been able to get in there. She tried everything, didn't she? She really did. She's the one who cracked like
Yeah.
where they were coming from, and that something more awful was going to happen because of the changing of the patterns and things like that.
Right.
Like she was on it, and they were holding her back a little, and there was like government interference, and she made it her mission, and I can't imagine not feeling the way she did if you have that kind of skill and somebody just died in your arms and you feel like you should have been able to do more. And all you needed to do was to stop the program that was running that bee, and you
And
can't do
plus,
it.
she said in the beginning, that's why she went to like being in the field, is because she thought she could be more effective in person, stopping things than she could online. And then she kind of discovering that that may not be the case either. You can only do what you can do. So
Exactly.
she had
She
already
was
felt that
there.
way in a different environment, and now to realize she's in that same situation,
Yeah, it
it
was like,
probably messed her up even more.
but that's the thing. They absolutely make it the character so rich and so full that you see all that, and
I
you don't
feel like
often get that, in a 90-minute episode with all those people involved. Like, we really got to see character in these people, and I really enjoyed that. Always wants to know look at it, if you feel any connection to the Shirley Jackson's The Lottery with this,
Well, Always Grateful is trying to be my best friend, so I accept. You talk about dystopian societies, and now you're bringing up Shirley Jackson. We're
Oh
now
my God,
BFFs. It's official.
where
I
have you
did
been all
not
our
pick up on
lives? My
that,
God.
but holy
There.
crap, you're
Holy crap,
right.
that's a thought. That's a thought and a half. That actually, good point. And everybody else is probably scratching their head going, what are those three talking about? Like, what planet?
Shirley
But no,
Jackson is an
you have to
awesome
read it.
American author who wrote short stories like The Lottery. She's very weird and has a little bit of a disturbing mind.
No, tell them the premise of The Lottery. They'll get what she's referring to. Go
I
ahead.
remember reading this in middle school. Our English teacher made us read it, and I was like, what the heck did you just make us read? But I
Like,
also
that made my brain hurt, lady.
loved it. Yeah, it was quite disturbing. There's a small town, and I'm not sure, I can't remember the time period or even if a time period was given, but you kind of think it was maybe during like the colonial days. At least that's the vibe that I got. And town, women, children, families, and every year they had this kind of, I forget what it was mentioned as, but kind of like a festival type thing. And all the men, I believe, in the family, men or the firstborn men, had to kind of go out, and we'll say, I'm going to get all the details incorrect, but you'll get the point. They basically all had to pick a straw, and whoever got the short straw was picked for this event. Well, what the event was, they all got stoned to death. They were basically being picked as a sacrifice. Because wasn't it that they thought it was helping them. It was like their superstitious way of having the next year be fruitful. Either like no plagues, no death, their harvest would be good. They thought by sacrificing one person every year um, would
Mm-hmm.
would make that all the bad stuff stay away. And
Yeah.
again, I know
Mm-hmm.
for certain I'm getting the details incorrect, but
No,
that
but
was
the premise
basically it.
is there. It was just like the whole thing, like, oh, the what's good for everybody, but then somebody, whether
Right.
willingly or not, has to actually take it on the chin, for it. So yeah, a little bit. But although I will admit, Shirley Jackson put it right out in your face a lot more than Charlie Brooker just did. We would have to claw through a bit of stuff to get there with his episode, you know.
Yeah, but I
But
think that's the good part of him is that it brings in a different audience that maybe wouldn't watch or read such thought-provoking stuff, such
no,
obvious thought-provoking stuff, I guess. And I don't mean that they're unintelligent. I just mean that Black Mirror is more entertaining.
it
It catches
right.
your attention more. It kind of makes your mind go in a different place. You're definitely entertained while you watch it.
No,
And
you didn't. And you don't have to go that deep with it because it's not going to be like, it's not going
right,
to make you confused or anything. It is a good story from start to finish. There's just, if you want to go that deep, there's so many things you can layer off of it,
that is
which is
true.
what intrigues me about it, because I could watch it with my nieces and my nephews and not young. We're not talking young people here. Don't
Right.
panic. Yeah, nobody. We're talking legal adults. And we talk about it because I have a good relationship with them all, and they like to talk about stuff like this. And sometimes they just don't get it. Like there are other episodes that I'll watch that when they come up that I watched with them, and that they totally didn't. They just watched it for entertainment and went, "Oh yeah, that part was good." And they didn't get any of the stuff, and
All
they were
the
like,
deeper
you
meaning.
and they're like, how'd you get that out of that? How'd you get that out of that? And like I'm constantly referring back to like a quote or another book
Like,
or
are we
like
not watching the same
another
show?
concept. Like and they're like, how'd you get all that out of that? And I was just like, I guess it depends on where your brain has been before.
Yeah,
That's it, right? It's
that
just like,
makes
because
good sense.
that's how you pick it all up, because it's already somewhere in there, all those references. You can't get a reference if you're not exposed to it, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what
that's
Charlie
a good
Brooker
point.
writes if we aren't exposed to those little innuendos and those little references that he's putting in there. If we've never heard of them, they make no sense. But he
That
doesn't
is
put
very
them out
true.
there like they have to make sense. Knowing about White Bear helps the story, but it doesn't make the story. Anybody who didn't know what White Bear was in the beginning with Blue is not going to miss the point of the story at all.
That is
But
true.
when you do know about it, it adds
It
it
makes it
adds
that much
layers.
richer.
Yes, it
It's
adds
like my
things.
English 101 professor told me. I asked one time, I'm like, what is the point of symbolism? Like, do you think maybe sometimes people just write a story to write a story? And yes, that's probably true. But we were specifically talking about symbolism there. And I'm like, why do we have to understand it all? Why? What is the point of this class? And she's like, it's like eating a 7-layer dip. Like, yeah, you can eat a cheese dip,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe sometimes you want all the richness of, the refried beans and the cheese and the guacamole
Mm-hmm.
and the sour cream and the whatever else goes in, because that's not 7 layers. But it's just that you get a lot more depth to it. You're right.
Right,
You won't miss the point. If you just eat cheese dip, you're going to be satisfied with cheese dip. But then
right.
if you eat 7-layer dip, you're going to be even more fulfilled. So
Exactly. So it's just all what you're into, right?
I think I'm
That's it.
hungry also.
Always, yep. That always happens at the end of our streams. We should always just go for tacos or something afterwards. We should have.
Right?
Yeah, I know. We should have taco parties. Always Createful says we can relate Jackson's novel to the mob mentality we have now. Point. People, especially on social media, love watching a train wreck. The lottery was almost entertainment for the people. You're right. They got
Yeah, I
enthralled. It
didn't
was
think
like
of it that way.
because and here's the thing, because the pressure was off of them on who got chosen, because it
Right.
was
They
random.
could sit back
They
and
felt
watch.
they felt free to celebrate what happened, because they weren't the ones who said it had to happen. And that I did get about that short story. I said, you're so spot on with that always. That is social media entirely in the chats and everything.
Sometimes that's life, because it's kind of like I'm sorry you're going through that. Right. I could go off a tangent right now, but
Charlie, would Charlie approve? That's what we have to ask ourselves at the end of the season, at the end of the episode. Would Charlie approve?
Would Charlie approve?
Yeah.
Not to self-promote, but I'm going to self-promote. Always Grateful.
No, absolutely.
It is so freaking funny, because one of the things that I love literature as well. And Shirley Jackson is on my list of people to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I even watched the recent movie that, oh my gosh, why is her name? Elizabeth Moss played Shirley Jackson.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Ooh. She's very good. It's kind
of a mind-bending movie as well. I'm still at the end a little confused, and I might start with that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. No, that'll be good.
Was this not? Does this? What? So yes.
Well, for anyone who's listening and anyone in the chat that's not familiar, JC's the Dogood Letters channel link and her social media links are down, as they always are, in the description for our Black Mirror reviews. You can check out her channel. She does some really thought-provoking historical stuff. She does some great stuff, historical stuff, and she's funny. But you got to be ready
make a joke or two.
You have to be ready for it. And on that note, you have the next Black Mirror episode over on your channel. And what are you going to do?
Yes, I believe we decided I'm going to do 15 million merits. That's definitely an episode I want to do, because I think there's some correlation to, well, there's always correlation to things in real life with Black Mirror, isn't there? But
always.
I think it's more literal. And that's what I was very surprised about. So I'll just leave it at that.
So there you go. For anybody who's interested in having this discussion again next week, watch the episode. It's
always
on Netflix.
Grateful. I wrote a thesis on Shirley Jackson and modern American Latin college. All right.
Now I know. Now I know.
We're besties.
That's it. You
then actually don't watch my videos
friend.
Because
she stole my best friend right here on YouTube. Just like that.
You will probably super not appreciate. You'll be like, oh, how elementary. But I did do a video on symbolism in The Handmaid's Tale. Just saying, if you want to go check that out.
No, it was good, and it was not elementary. It was very good, actually. That's how we met. I like that you did that handmade and stuff, because I was very interested.
I thank you. I do.
It was the freaking you recognized.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm totally talking.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that the freaking you recognized the freaking me about that stuff. Yeah, it's like
two nerds connected.
But anyway, go on about that.
I don't really remember what I was saying. I think I'm getting tired.
Okay, it was. And on that note, so next week it will be on JC's channel, because we're sharing the series back and forth. We both have playlists for anyone who wants to catch up on all the older episodes. This is the fourth, I think.
This is the fourth one. Yeah, we did History of You last week, and
we've done that one. We did Ashley, Jack, and whoever the other person, Rose. I don't know who the other person is.
Rachel, Jack, and Ashley too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was much better during the episode, I swear.
Same.
But we did that one. And we did History of You, and we did. Oh my! What is the other one?
How do we not remember? You did the second one. It's really good, guys. We promise.
I promise. It's late, and they kept me up really late last night. That's my only excuse. All right, blame it on the Aussies. That's what I'm going to do.
That's the thing. It's anticipation. You got to go look and see.
You got to go see.
It's leave secret. You hanging. Not that we don't know our own stuff. That's not what it is. Nope. That we just want to give you some mystique there.
Well, anyway, I do know what I'm doing next. So next week, I think we're going to do it Sunday at 9 o'clock. You said?
Thank you. Always great.
Oh, thank you. And I love that episode. I loved it. I picked it special. Oh, thank you. Always. It was the pink episode. I even picked up how he filtered the camera. Oh, Thank you. I feel like such a jerk right now. Oh my God.
It's both of us. So
now you all know why I'm naked all the time, because I hate getting caught with my pants down.
that was awesome, Claire.
This is the stupid shit I do. This is the stuff I do.
That was perfect.
Okay. I was saying, this is it. This is the reason. Just that's it. It is Peter. You are one of the main Aussies. It's your fault. That's it. From now on, I'm starting a hashtag. It's Chris is always the asshole, and it's always Peter's fault. It's Peter's
always
fault.
Peter's fault.
Peter's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's fault. Mm-hmm. You see,
it's
they're
only the
with
second
me.
time I've ever, seen you online, but I know it's definitely always your fault.
He exudes
because Claire said so.
Oh wait, don't put that power on me, people. Oh no. You know the rumors that are going to start now. Oh my God. Don't even.
Hey,
oh my God.
At least it's not a call to action to send bees to kill anybody. At least it's not that bad.
I am grateful for that. The assholes that we have to deal with on a daily basis are just not that freaking talented. I'm thrilled, aren't you? I'm thrilled about that. If we take anything from this lesson from Charlie Brooker, wish we got that, right?
Yes.
At least we got that.
People that we deal with, I guess, aren't that bad.
They're not that bad. Like, I don't have it that bad. I really don't. But we're going to...
little annoying gnats, not bees.
Yeah. So next week we're going to do it on JC's channel. Same bat time, same bat place.
Yeah.
I mean, same bat day. Sunday. 9:00 on Sunday, and then the week after that, if you want to get ready, I'm going to be doing Metalhead. I'm committing to myself, so I can't change my Metalhead. I'm going to do Metalhead.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think that's also an episode. I don't even know what season it is. I think it's season 4, but I don't know. I have to check. But anyway, I'll put it on Twitter if anybody wants to know. And JC will put it on Twitter, and you can contact
if you guys have any questions or points you want us to bring up, or like Claire said, if anyone's interested in coming and joining our discussion, we'd love to have you. And besides being in chats, if you want to stay in chat, that's cool.
Yeah, and we don't like to assign homework, but for those of you that really enjoy the episodes, if there's something you want to discuss about it, let us know ahead of time. We will discuss it with you. We'll go there. Bring it into the chat. We're very free with our DMs, right, JC? Yep. You guys can contact us. We're willing to do it because there's not that many of us people around who like to discuss this stuff. So the more the merrier, and we'll welcome you with open arms, open discussion at all times. So we're really happy to have you in the chat participating.
Yes, thank you everyone.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out in our little tiny nerd room here today, our Black Mirror nerd room. That's right, we're all going to call you all nerds, just like us. That's it.
That's what I say. I like to go to nerdy places and talk about nerdy things.
And that's it. And be proud. Nerds unite. It's always Peter's fault anyway. So nerds unite. Okay.
Anything goes wrong, it's Peter's fault.
I know, Don. See? Oh, she's with me, Peter. You're in trouble now. All right. So on that note, I'm going to put the outro on. We'll meet you in the chat. And JC, I will see you during the week.
Awesome. Get ready for next Sunday.
Well, I'm closing the back door, people. On comes
how we need to end every stream.
Right, we're gonna close every Black Mirror from now. I'm closing the back door, people, because we can no longer trust Jace.